What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Thoughts. This one's a little different. This is a late night one, really late. It's at 7 p.m. right now on a Wednesday night, David.
January
As
24th.
yeah,
I'm
as
gonna
you're
mark this.
noticing,
I'm gonna
sorry,
mark
go.
this day for a while.
A night one. Oh, yeah. We're getting into that.
Yeah.
But to start off, John's not here. John was unable to get with us or to be with us today to record, but we got it, David. We got this one. Now, just looking at the light, it's all bright right here.
Mhm.
But anyways, starting off the big news of today, like you, David, said you want to mark down to remember for a
Mhm.
while. Your Los Angeles Chargers, as reports that came out earlier today, your Los Angeles Chargers have gotten a new head coach in Jim Harbaugh, the now ex coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team. David, look, I want to start by saying I want to say almost every Charger fan wanted this. I think even non-Charger fans were a little excited just to see John Harbaugh sorry, not John,
Jim.
Jim Harbaugh, sorry, the brothers, Jim Harbaugh come to California. I'm sorry, return to California. This town SoCal after being a quarterback for the Chargers in his career. He's coming back now as a head coach. Think a lot of people just want to see that. Want to see Justin Herbert finally get a head coach that he deserves to put him in an offense where he could flourish and hopefully get more wins to make the playoffs once again. John, I was excited. No, now I've said it. I'm not a big Chargers fan. I never really was, but I'm excited to see how Herbert, um, just what Herbert gets out of this. I'm excited to see Herbert get help because I like Herbert. I remember watching him in Oregon days. But you, David, the Charger fan, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm happy. Holy cow! They finally got a big name. This is a star. This is probably their biggest name in years, and this is a star that competes with LeBron, um, Otani. This is now an LA thing. This is now what we're used to having here in Los Angeles area with our LA teams. Um, it had to happen too because the Chargers couldn't just get another coordinator or hire a rookie head coach who was a previous coordinator. It just had to happen. Charger fans, I mean, we can't just stay mediocre forever or always be second place to the Rams. Now it's time to compete with the Rams. Who's the real, who really owns SoFi Stadium now? Well, we still got to win Super Bowl for that, but um, he's an experienced head coach, successful. He's been here in California for a long time. He played high school here. He coached San Diego State, Stanford, if I'm not wrong, up north university. I'm not wrong,
Yep,
Gio. And
Stanford.
obviously, and obviously the 49ers 10 years ago when he still had Colin Kaepernick as his quarterback and took him to the Super Bowl. Um, so it should be an exciting season. I'm gonna make a prediction, Gio. The
What's your
Chargers will beat
prediction?
the Chargers will be in the Super Bowl in 2 years in Harbaugh's second
2
season.
years.
There's
Two
in his second
years.
season. Watch.
You think okay?
Hmm.
So if that's your prediction, 2 years, Chargers are going to be in the Super Bowl.
In the Super
What?
Bowl, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, in the Super Bowl. You're not saying win or not.
Hmm.
I'm just saying in the Super Bowl. So then, what do you think Jim has to do in order to improve this Chargers team to be a Super Bowl contending team? Because we know right now, even with the players you have, even with Justin Herbert, even with Keenan Allen, even with Mike Williams, it's still not a Super Bowl contending team. You need to pick up a couple pieces on defense. You do have Joey Bosa, you do have Khalil Mack, you do need other pieces. In my opinion, one of your issues right now is the running back situation. I guess you want to call it running back problem, and that you have who was one of the best running backs the last 2 years ago. Yeah, I want to say 2 years ago, Austin Eckler. This year was one of his worst performances in his career so far, being the slowest he's ever recorded himself, not getting as many touches, not being as effective, and just helping out the team in general and pushing this team to be better. You have Joshua Kelly as the backup, but he hasn't. planned out as they thought he would have been. So, in my opinion, it's the running back position needs some looking into. And you could look with Jim Harbaugh being head coach, they might try to get Corum, the running back out of Michigan, to hopefully maybe he will start being, a two back, maybe I mean the second string running back, maybe to start it by next year. But what do you think needs to be changed?
I think you nailed it on the head pretty much because obviously he's gonna. I'm pretty sure we all know that we. How should I say this? We all believe he will bring players from Michigan to the Chargers and possibly other players that are in the draft from other college teams. So I mean, he's gonna inject a lot of youth into his team. Sadly, the Chargers, I mean, they're a good team, but like every other team, they're gonna get old, and we got to help him out. Austin Eckler, he needs someone else to take his spot, or you know, um, one thing that one thing that offend Austin Eckler is also this was the Chargers pretty much their worst performance in a while, so this is not all on him. There's more, other players around him that also weren't as effective. And this was probably Herbert's not a very good season either, and he got injured too. He was injured for a while too with the finger.
For
So
the
there's a
rest of
lot
the
of things
season,
that, yeah,
for the rest of the season, once he
mm,
injured his finger.
yeah. So there are a lot of things that why many players didn't perform as they usually did. But be sure Jim Harbaugh, it's a project. It'll take time. Maybe it is too soon to in 2 seasons he'll make the Super Bowl, but you never know.
Right? Just stick to your
Look
predictions.
at the Lions. Not that long
It
ago
took
they
him
were,
3 years. It took him
yeah.
3 years. Yeah,
See,
but see, I mentioned Cornum. I can't pronounce the name. Running back out of Michigan. He was a senior. He's coming out. I mentioned because, of course, his ties with Jim Harbaugh. But personally, I would think maybe wait one more year for Judkins, the running back. He was for Ole Miss. He just transferred to Ohio State, so he's going to be the starting running back at Ohio State. I think he's a much quicker, shiftier, effective running back. Although Cornum was one of the best in the country, did score, but he looked very stiff. He looks very he doesn't look. I guess the only way I could think of shifty. He doesn't look as quick. That's just from watching TV. I think Judkins is a much better running back. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh would wait to draft the running back one more year, see what he could do with Austin Eckler, get him going. But other speak just stick on the Chargers real quick, David. There was a couple other coaches in the conversation for head coach aside from Jim Harbaugh. It was Bill Belichick. That was one we spoke about way in the beginning, about halfway through the season. We thought we kind of figured Bill Belichick his time was ending in New England. He might come to the Chargers or another team, and then right now he's getting a lot of talks with the Falcons. So he's possibly might be a Falcons head coach.
Harbaugh was
But
supposed to get a
another,
second interview this week
yeah,
with the
yeah,
Falcons.
he was
Yeah.
supposed to, I believe it was today, actually. He was supposed to have a second one today.
Hmm.
But another coach that arose from all of this at a recent, I guess you want to call it firing, Pete Carroll was campaigning himself to be the next head coach for the Chargers. This was, I think it was about a week. From what I heard, he about a week ago he wanted the head coaching job. He really would have really liked to come back to Southern California. Of course, he coached at USC before going to Seattle. Looked like he wanted to come back to SoCal. It's not going to happen. But David, what would have been your thoughts if it wasn't Jim Harbaugh and they went with Pete Carroll, someone who was currently just last season in the NFL?
I think it would have been a good second choice. On top with the other coach, like what's his name? He was from Tennessee Titans. Fartbelt?
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel. Yeah. I think sure he would have been a good second choice. But this is why I prefer Harbaugh over Belichick. Age. You know,
And what about
Harbaugh is
over
really
Pete Carroll?
and also over Pete Carroll too, because Pete Carroll and Belichick I think are around 71, 72 around there, both of them. And Harbaugh's 60. You could get more out of him. This could last 10 years, just what Carroll did with Seattle. He was there for a while, and sadly, he did two Super Bowl appearances. Sadly, it was just one, but still a success. Um, I don't think it would have. If they got Carroll or even Belichick, could have been what, 3 seasons? Four at most?
Five
It wouldn't
max.
last though.
It
At
probably
max, yeah.
would have been a five max.
Yeah. And Harbaugh, 10 or even longer. Depends on how he feels too. So that's my opinion. He would have been a good second choice, but the Chargers, as we could tell, they always wanted Harbaugh, and they got it. They didn't fumble it. They didn't charger it.
I think it. I'm glad that you guys didn't. Like I said, not because I'm a fan of you guys. I'll probably go to a game next season. I think the Packers schedule already came out. Not the dates, but the schedule of who they're playing, and I think they are playing the. If I'm correct, take a quick look. But if I'm correct, they're playing the Chargers or the Rams next year. So hopefully it's the Chargers.
Hey, you're welcome to hop on that bandwagon.
I'm not hopping in any bandwagon. I'm not hopping in any bandwagon. It's
uh,
just it's. I'm just happy to see Justin Herbert get the help that he deserves, get the coach that he deserves. Being in that team. I'm excited. I saw him once already. I saw a Charger game about 2, 3. I think it was 2 years ago. I saw him. So it's been cool to watch. He's been fun to watch. I've always been a fan of Justin Herbert, like I said, during his college days. So I'm just happy to see that. Happy to see how they get everything going. Trying to find their Instagram page where the Packers. Oh, here we go. Away the Rams. Never mind. Packers are playing the Rams, not the Chargers next season. But that's all right. Talking about other coaches, David, so far in this league. Also today, defensive coordinator of my Green Bay Packers, Joe Barry, got fired. And for me and much of other Packer fans that I know of, very happy about this. We
why?
think it's it was time to need to be done because so look, David, when Joe Barry got to the Packers the first year, they were 11th overall
Mm,
in 2021. By 2022 and 2023, they dropped to 17th overall. The pass, I mean, sorry, the running defense, the running game defense, dropped to 28th in the league this year, while our passing defense was eighth. Obviously, we have one of the best corners in the nation in Jair Alexander, who may also leave, which I hope the Packers try to resign, try as much as they can to keep him, resign him. Arguably one of the best corners in the game right now. But Joe Barry has made so many, in my opinion, mistakes or bad play calling when it comes to what not formation, but what they're running on the defensive end and what time in the game and what is a third down, second down, first down. And a lot of times, and I think Joe Barry has much of a fault to when we lost in the NFC Championship game against the Buccaneers. A lot of that you'll see our defense getting cooked. A lot, along with King being out there as out there in the secondary, but a lot of it was Joe Barry's fault. And a lot of Packers fans have been we've been tired about it. It's been 3 years. We think that's enough. We couldn't go any much longer. Yes, he kept them at 17 the last 2 years. That's okay for out of 32 teams. But with this team, we think we could do much better. I think at minimum, the Packer defense should be within the top 15. At best, we could get within the top 10. I think with a better coach. And like Joe Barry's towards the end of this season, towards the end of last season, the defense was getting much steadier. While throughout the season, it was a bit inconsistent when it came to can you trust in this defense to hold in and get us the win or not? We saw it a lot in the beginning of this season. We saw it a lot last season as they went on a very very tough run, losing streak in the beginning of last season. So now what we see at the end of because we can't really have that anymore. We need consistency from beginning to end. So there's other Packer fans probably saying similar or different things, but in my opinion, it was time for a change. I don't know who we're gonna get for defensive coordinator. Again, Mike Vrabel is also a very defensive. minded coach, head coach. You can see that in Tennessee, even though they lost games, but they're very low digit games. He's worked with Matt LaFleur before. Maybe he comes in as the defensive coordinator for the Packers.
Brendan Staley.
No, 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 David, no. And you know what? And I had friends that were joking about that earlier too. They're saying Brandon Staley. No, no. Well, the Miami Dolphins are looking to get
I
Brandon
saw that
Staley.
today. I saw that today.
Yeah, they let go their head coach. I mean, sorry, head coach. Mike
That's
McDaniel's is still
coordinator,
there. They let go their
coordinator,
Vince
defensive coordinator.
defensive coordinator.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they let go the defensive coordinator. But yeah, there's still coaches up in the moving. I think there's a very good chance that the Falcons sign Bill Belichick. They just they try to get Jim or Bill. Jim's gone right now, so it looks like Bill Belichick is the best option. They already had 2 interviews with them, so let's see if they could really cash it in, or don't lose that lead on Bill Belichick. But yeah, that's just what it's looking like. Raiders signed the head coach that the players wanted, Antonio Pierce.
Did you see who they hired for GM?
Uh, I don't remember. I remember seeing the news that they hired a GM.
Yeah, he was the Chargers' former GM,
Yeah. Oh,
Tom Telesco.
so now you got Tom Telesco there, and Pierce is back again. The players wanted him. Max Crosby, sponsored for him to come back. So they got him. Let's see how the Raiders do this year. And with their whole, they're going into the draft. What's their mentality? Are they going to stay with Aiden O'Connell at the quarterback? Are they going to go back to Jimmy G? Are they going to draft the quarterback? Are they going to, what are they going to get? What do they need? So we'll talk about that another time. We always do a draft episode, David. We'll talk about that then. But moving on, we just had our divisional rival games. We are going to the conference championship games this weekend. But let's just talk about divisional rival games. First, starting off, we'll start off with my Packers. A tough game, tough loss to the Niners. We had it.
Close game.
We had it.
You weren't supporting. I mean, you said the 49ers were going to win, so don't act all
I
sad.
did. I did. Because like I told you, David, I wasn't gonna be delusional about it. I knew deep down the Niners were overall a better team. The only one you could argue that's better that we have is the quarterback because Jordan Love has been playing great, playing phenomenal towards halfway towards the end of the season till now. Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy. We know where he is. Jordan Love, in my opinion, is still a much better quarterback than he is. That was the only thing that the Packers would had better than that. And Jair Alexander, them two, those two positions. Other than that, the Niners were winning in every single position as that is. The the Packers couldn't stop the run game, couldn't stop Christian McCaffrey. The passing game they did for the most part, but they couldn't stop the run game. But the Packers had the lead. The Niners were down. Packers were leading. Of course, we had to settle for 2 field goals in the beginning, but he got the touchdown later on. It's just even with Aaron Jones is like, well, I think it was a 40, 50 yard run on a play. I thought that was gonna be the nail in the coffin. I thought we were gonna score a touchdown, close it out. Again, settling for field goals. And at the end, our rookie kicker, Anders Carlson, missed a field goal that would have forced the 7 point lead, forced the Niners to get that touchdown, which they did, either go for a 2 point or kick it and tie, send it to overtime. And who would have known what was going to happen then? So it sucks. And what sucks about it, not just that we lost, because losing always sucks, especially around this time, but it's always to the Niners, David. Always to the Niners. And it sucks. But the Niners, like I said, had a better team. Had Christian McCaffrey. Debo Samuels got hurt in the beginning, so that was a big part of it because I think they really schemed a lot of passing for Debo Samuels, and they had to adjust to Kittle, to Ayuk, to get I forgot the name of the rookie wide receiver. Had to get out going, scheme back to more running plays because that was working out for them. You know, it it's just hard. It just sucks, but you gotta keep our heads up high and look. and look for
I
next
mean, you should be
season.
happy. I mean, remember you said they weren't going to make the playoffs, and look how far they made it.
I said,
And they
okay, so to
and they
quote what I
competed.
said, David, to quote what I said, David, I said, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, right? I said they'll, at first, I exaggerated, said they'll probably get four wins, right? But I said, that's my number one option. They're not making playoffs on a 4 win. But if they somehow miraculously made playoffs, I said there will be a 7 seed and it'll be a 9-8 or a 10-7 type of thing. That's what I said. But I wasn't believing in that. I didn't believe it. I didn't trust that.
I mean, look how far they made it. They competed, almost beating the 49ers by 3 points. They lost. No, but you should still be happy for what you had. Um,
Yeah. Well, but that was that. Other games in the NFC, one of the most, I think, fun games to watch right now. The Detroit Lions are one of the fun teams to watch. They've been throughout the season. A lot of high offense. Defense had been a bit of a struggle, but they've gotten much better over the years in their defense. They're playing very well. Is it going to be enough to beat the Niners? Because they just won against the Buccaneers. That was the last host. That's the last game that they're going to host in the playoffs. Everything else, it's going to Santa Clara, and if they win that, they're going to Las Vegas. So no more home games for them. But it was fun watching them. Just after having a 10-10 tie for much of the first half with the Buccaneers, I thought the Lions would have gone done much better at least. They picked it up in the second half and they got the job done. Great game by Jared Goff. I think he played really great so far. Just in general in the playoffs. He's one person that I think he's all right, gets the job done, but not extravagant. But he's been getting the job done in the playoffs so far. He's on the running backs between David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, still using half and half. I think next season they're gonna give it pretty much the reins to Jameer Gibbs because they know what he could do. A lot of opening out wide to pass game, running game, and then Amon St. Brown, just great. And the defense played good. Rookie Brian Branch was amazing this season. He's playing really good. And stopping the Buccaneers and just getting Baker Mayfield off his usual, getting comfortable in what he could do. But that was a fun game. That's a
mhm.
great game to watch. For me as a Packer fan, it's like watching the little brother, fight back and fight for what he wants. As a Packer fan, I hate the Bears, and I will never, never go for. I love seeing the Bears cry. The Vikings are right. I could kind of respect. They're they fight back and stuff. So I was all right. But the Lions are like the little brother, and it's just glad to see him like this.
I don't know for you, but I see the Lions more, more in favor than the 49ers, to be honest. I mean, the 49ers didn't play
David,
that well. They didn't play that well against the
David,
Packers.
David,
I mean,
David. Come on.
come on.
Okay, you're gonna say the Lions are more favored.
I mean, they're on the momentum. They have nothing to lose, to be honest. But I mean, after how the 49ers played, though, I mean, they weren't the same team that we saw in the regular season as
They
another team that
weren't.
were like,
They weren't. They weren't.
mhm.
But you got to realize, are the Lions stopping Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league? You could argue even the best player in the league. Are you stopping just the system of quarterback, which Brock Purdy's proven that he can play in that system, and get the ball to IU, get the ball to Kittle, get the ball to Debo, because Debo should be coming back this week. You're telling me the Lions secondary, which that's been much of their problem this year, is going to be able to stop that?
Mhm. You just never know.
But that doesn't tell me that they're favored. That just
No,
makes
I
you
mean,
that,
I'm
that
just
you're
saying
just saying that you think
I
they're
mean, they're on
favored.
the momentum right now, and obviously
Yeah,
the Super Bowl that the country wants to see is obviously the Lions and the Ravens, right? That's what everyone wants to see.
yeah,
Yeah. Later today we'll discuss the more reality, but
yeah.
um,
That's a set.
mhm. Anyway, yeah.
Anything you have on the game?
It's upcoming game for the Lions
The line,
and
no, the Lion and Buccaneers game.
No, no, I got nothing. No, to be honest, I didn't really see much of the game. No, I just saw highlights, but it was a regular game that I enjoyed.
Moving on to the AFC side, we had the Ravens versus the Texans. After the Texans going on, I guess you want to call it Cinderella run. They called the Browns the Cinderella run. That was ended. I think the Texans are a little more of a Cinderella run. The way they're just able to, like I spoke the last episode, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, getting everything flowing together, making the playoffs, made it to the second round of the playoffs against the number one team. They didn't play as good. They didn't really show that they stood a chance. And again, this is a Ravens defense that's very, very, very good this season. Very good. So it was interesting how the Texans were going to game plan and scheme for this time, the second time meeting him. Because, of course, the Ravens won the first time they met week one of the season, but that's a completely different Texans team than what they were now or what they are now. What now a season developed, CJ Stroud, now with players getting, with finding out who Nico Collins what is, and Del Tank, and all these other players, and Bigsby, and finding out who this team is, and you have I forgot he was the tight end. He came from the Cowboys. Getting him into the to the far into everything the playing, it was a lot. And I think, of course, they did good all season, but this game against the Ravens did not. It didn't. It wasn't much of a fight. I mean, what can you do? It's the Ravens. Offensively,
Yeah.
defensively, they're just so much better. And then leading to what you could argue was the game of the week, second game, third game, however you want to put. Honestly, all the games were great except for the Texans and the Ravens one. So however you want to put it, you put it. A lot of people are gonna say the game of the week. Kansas City Chiefs goes to Orchard Park in Buffalo, New York, and beats the Buffalo Bills by 3, which a game like once again lost by a kicker. Tyler Bass misses the field goal, and the Chiefs end up winning the game at the end of it. It was said a lot, especially Bills players saying that Mahomes never played in Orchard Park when it was full of fans, when there was all the cheering and everything. He's never been in that environment. Not gonna thrive. And he comes out playing, balling. You want to say he was balling? Travis Kelsey was balling. His brother Jason and his wife Kylie were there. Obviously Taylor Swift was there, and the Kelsey mom, she was there, Donna Kelsey. But before the game, Buffalo not
Wait,
able to get the job done.
I mean, one thing that I want to mention is that he may criticize Mahomes for not playing in Buffalo. I mean, but he just came back from playing at a -3 degrees game in Kansas City, so the climate he should know doesn't matter to Mahomes and the Chiefs still. It should not matter for them. And it wasn't even snowing, so there was nothing
Yeah,
to be an
I
obstacle for them.
it wasn't. He wasn't talking about weather. He was talking more about the fans of Buffalo and how it gets rowdy in there, how the Bills Mafia goes crazy, which they do. Honestly, Bills Mafia is one of the greatest fan bases ever. One of the
Mm.
greatest ever. And how crazy the environment is, the Orchard Park gets, all of
It
that.
wasn't
Yet
enough.
Mahomes, it wasn't
It
enough.
wasn't
Mahomes
enough.
was able to get the job done.
I think the Bills Mafia got more to what's his face?
To
To the
Tyler
kicker, yeah,
Bass.
to Tyler Bass.
Yeah. It like it's just, are we looking at, look, just the stats. So we'll go more into the game. Stats alone, Patrick Mahomes, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 215. Was well better games. Isaiah Pacheco doing his usual, 15 carries, getting 97 yards and 1 touchdown on that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire even got 2 carries for 31 yards. That's pretty good for 2 carries, 31 yards. Travis Kelsey, of course, getting the 2 touchdowns, only 75 yards, but tight end. But he's the number one option. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the number one receiver, wide receiver. Um, at times, or not even Justin Watson half of the time, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 62 yards, only on 2 catches. Rashid Rice, he's the number one receiver, 4 catches for only 47 yards. But that's just on the offense side. While The Bills, looking at Josh Allen, only one touchdown for 186 yards. James Cook only 61 yards running. Josh Allen did run for two touchdowns though, so he did good running for the two touchdowns for only 72 targets. Um, Kahil Shakir got the one touchdown with 44 total yards. Dalton Kincaid, his tight end, led the receiving with 45 yards, only on five targets. Cahill got the most targets with seven. But other than that, Stephon Diggs, the number one receiver, only got three targets on 21 yards. The game does not go good. The game does not work, or at least the passing game does not work when you can't get your number one receiver the ball, when you can't get your playmaker the ball. It's not going to work. If your touchdown is going to your number two receiver, when the ball is going to your number three receiver, sorry, number three receiver, because your number two is Gabe Davis. When the ball is going to your number three receiver, it's not going to happen. You need the ball to go to Stephon Diggs. Open up the plane. You get the run game going with James Cook. Everything's going around. It wasn't all good, but Josh Allen was keeping the team in, getting the job done. Like I said, he was running the ball. He was trying to get the first. He was getting the down, getting the yards, keeping the team alive. They had the lead and lose it at the end.
Hmm. One thing I don't know if you remember from the game, but right before they did the field goal, the Buffalo Bills, their quarterback Josh Allen. I don't know if you remember, like a couple of plays before that, he threw a long pass deep. Obviously done. The receiver didn't catch it, but he had other receivers that were closer to make a short pass. I don't know if you remember that. So I mean, so there's more to blame than just Tyler Bass. You can also blame it on, as I mentioned, Josh Allen. Is there like there are opportunities for them to even get closer to the field goal range or even for a touchdown if you made down that pass though. So I remember during the game, Tony Romo was talking about that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, instead of going for the check downs, he
Hmm.
was trying to force it to the end zone and get it.
Yeah, yeah.
It happens a lot. That's the thing with Josh Allen a lot. He's one of the best quarterbacks, top five quarterbacks in the league. And one some of his part of his flaws was always turning over the ball because he used to run it a lot. He used to get injured a lot. He was used to fumble the ball a lot. And throwing interceptions because either he throws the ball too hard, especially over there in Buffalo when it's really cold. The ball feels harder. It hurts more on the receiver's hands. Plus, he has a cannon of an arm and he nukes the ball. So you have that where receivers are unable to catch the ball because either they're going too fast, it slips, or it hits their hand and it bounces, and the defender's there to intercept it. Or another part of his interception is that he likes to force the ball a lot into double coverage, triple coverage, or just he sees the one on one, but he sometimes overthrows it, forces it in a really close window, trying to throw on the outside or on the inside, depending on which side it is and what the route they're running. That's always been a part of Justin Herbert. I'm sorry, of Josh Allen. Times he does go for the check down, but a lot of times we've seen that he likes to throw it very close windows into a double, triple coverage at times, especially when they're losing and he's trying to get he really wants to get that win, but he's forcing it in, and that's at times they have lost games because of that. So yeah, you could put blame into Josh Allen, but you can't. In his defense, he also did a lot. He got
Yeah.
two rushing touchdowns plus a passing touchdown. He's part of three touchdowns in that game alone.
Some of the receivers didn't catch either.
And it's Stephon Diggs
Yeah.
and Dalton Kincaid. I mean, he's a tight end, but yeah,
Yeah.
that there's other issues too. Yes, you could put Josh Allen in there, but there's also in his defense for that game on that. But yeah, that means now leading this week's championship games, David. NFC in Santa Clara. San Francisco 49ers are hosting the Detroit Lions. This is the Lions' first away game in this playoffs. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Like I said, I have the Niners. I think the Niners are going to the Super Bowl. I think the Niners are going to win it, all because of the logo. We'll talk about that a little after, but that Super Bowl logo,
Oh, conspiracy theories, huh? You're
yeah,
coming up with conspiracy theories.
conspiracies are up.
Mm.
But the Niners are hosting. I think overall, just conspiracies aside, they're just a much more rounded team on offense and defense. They're one of the best defense in the league this year. They were top five. So over the Lions, I think the Niners had the better team just in general. What do you think?
No, you're right. They do have a better team, and I mean the regular season we saw they're one of the best teams in the season. But as I mentioned, the Lions are on the streak right now. And the 49ers, I don't know, the last game against the Packers, they didn't convince me. This could change, but it just didn't convince me, Gio. Um, Hopefully, I would love to see
Okay.
the Lions I would like to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. You know, the first time ever. But I think the 49ers are gonna come out away and make it to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Yeah,
49ers it is.
yeah.
The
Hopefully the
Niners,
Lions. Hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully we're wrong, Gio. But
I don't know. I was right last week about my Packers.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, the Niner game, 3:30 p.m. Sunday, this Sunday. But the 12 p.m. game, also Sunday, just right before the Niner game, the Baltimore Ravens are hosting the defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, there's a lot of talks about this. So I'm gonna say this game, I'm going Ravens. I'm going Ravens. I think much better team, more well-rounded, um, offensively, defensively. I think they're just more well-rounded than the team that the Chiefs have been this year. Who you got?
Well, Mr. Gio, the previous one I said my heart wanted the Lions, but I know the 49ers are gonna do it. But in this next one, even though I'm tired of seeing Taylor Swift, Patrick Mahomes again, another Super Bowl, but they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl again this year, Gio. I'm sorry, Gio. The Chiefs are gonna make it to the Super Bowl. They're not the same Chiefs as in the regular season. They got better. The only game that wasn't a challenge was against Miami, but that's -3 degrees. That game should have never happened, as I mentioned. But they were gonna win anyways. Ah, look, Gio. In the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs' offense, they've just been better. They've just been good. They grow with their rivals. They will grow against the Ravens. It doesn't matter what crowd the. I was watching a bit of Undisputed clips on Undisputed. Skip was saying that the Baltimore fans, they're rowdy. It's a different atmosphere. But it's not gonna get to. It's not gonna get to Patrick Mahomes. The Bills fans didn't get to him. Look, in the playoffs, he has 477 passing yards, Gio, and 60 rushing yards. Two touchdowns against Buffalo and 215 passing yards in that game. Look, he's a good quarterback. He's gonna find a way to get through the Baltimore defense. The Chiefs defense, that's what gets me worried. But I think that offense will get to the Ravens, Gio. Isaiah Pacheco, the running back, 186 yards in the season in the postseason. Rashid Rice, wide receiver, 177 receiving yards. Oh, I'm sorry, Pacheco, 186 running yards, and Rice, 177 receiving yards. Now, you mentioned conspiracy theories, Gio. Here's a conspiracy theory that I saw. The referee for this game is a man named Sean Smith, as the lead official. He'll be the referee of this game. He favors road teams. Now,
Mhm.
it's your fault. You mentioned conspiracy theories. So now I'm going to bring it up. What brings money for the NFL? Taylor Swift's bringing a bit of money right here now. And what a great love story will be that what's his face proposes to Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. hmm Now, now going back to the referee, road teams with this ref with Sean Smith, road teams win at the number one highest rate with them. Past 3 seasons, home teams referred by the Smith crew have won 41% of the time. Other refs, it's around 56%. He calls many more false starts on home teams and more roughing the passer and unnecessary roughness calls in the average. So I don't know what are your thoughts. I know you're probably
Yeah.
going to be
Okay.
against me. You're going to
No,
bash me, say Patrick Mahomes is this. He will
no,
choke
no.
this.
Okay, David.
No, no,
Look,
no,
look. This,
no. Come on.
look. Look. Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right
He will
now. He's
find a
number
way.
one.
He will find a
He's
way.
number one. Yeah, I understand. He found a way. He found a way against the Bills. We've seen that. Playoff Patrick Mahomes. It's different than regular season. We're seeing that. We get that. Travis Kelsey's turning it on. Get that. But tell me, in your defense of the Chiefs, have they played a team with a defense like the Ravens? I'll tell you right now. I wrote this down. I wrote this down so I don't have to remember it off my top of my head and stuff like that. According to Fox Sports, the Ravens defense is number 6 overall. Offensively, they're number 6 overall also. But I'll focus on defense right now. Throughout just throughout the regular season, they have been number 6 in passing defense, number 14 in rushing, so that's the weakest, and number 1 in the scoring defense, meaning when the opponents are in close to scoring, the number 1 defense is stopping that. They rounded it out to number 6 overall, right? The most points they allowed in the regular season was 33 points, and that was the loss to the Cleveland Browns. That was one of their 4 losses in the season. That was to division rivals Cleveland Browns, right? Not only that, they in their 4 losses, three of them, three of them are to divisional rival teams. So these games always mean more. We see that with the Cowboys and the Giants, and then the Eagles and the Giants, and sometimes the Commanders. Commanders gave the Eagles a problem. So they lost the 2 games against the Steelers. You could say whatever about the last game, doesn't matter. Steelers got the win, and they lost the 1 game to the Browns. But they also beat the Browns later on as well, and they beat both games against the Bengals. But that was it. And then in the 4 games that they lost, in those 4 games, they lost they lost by a touchdown or less. Touchdown or less. 2 were by 7 points, and both of them was against the Steelers. Both scores were 17-10, both of them. Against the Browns, they lost by 2 points, 33-31, and then against the Indianapolis Colts, conference rivals, they lost by 3 points. Hey, they lost by 3 points on that. That was the and they still put up 30 points. But again, that's on the offense, right? You're telling me Mahomes has played a defense as good as the Ravens? You're telling me Mahomes has played the Niners? They played the
Well, what were
Cowboys. The
the
Cowboys defense were good
what was the
at
ranking of the Ravens? What's the rankings?
number 6
Number 6. The Chiefs are number 2 in defense.
on defense.
Hmm.
On defense, but we gotta look at the teams they played too, right?
Hmm.
Sounds like your defense is gonna look good if you play the team like the Patriots this year, or even sometimes the Falcons, right? Your team's going to look good if you're playing the Broncos from the beginning of the season, or even the Packers in the beginning of the season, or the Arizona Cardinals. Your defense is gonna look good until you start playing teams like the Niners and their offense. Start playing teams. You can even add the Dolphins because they scored, was it 60, 70 something points, 70 points. You had the Cowboys who could score a lot or score a little. That's the thing on the Chiefs. You're in a division with the Raiders, the Broncos, and the
The
Chargers.
Chargers.
That's 6 games alone. Adding to the Chiefs defense was started off very well. They only went down towards later on. I don't know why they ended up at 2 altogether. But moving on to Ravens offense, that's the Chargers. Well, wait, let me restate it. Ravens defense. So now Mahomes and Travis Kelce are going to have to play a defense that their best thing is the passing game, and that's really what the Chiefs had. Aside from Isaiah Pacheco running like crazy, stomping his feet across the yards because he's a running back, being able to stop him. But you're going to tell me they're not going to plan and scheme to the passing game for Marquez Valdez Scantley, for Travis Kelsey, for Rashid Rice, for Justin Watson, number 6 in the country for this. And then coming to the end zone where they're even better, especially with even young cornerbacks like Hamilton out there in the safety spot playing in this secondary, very tough team. I don't think the Chiefs are ready for it. I don't think Mahomes is going to be ready for it. And now moving to the offense, the offense has scored with Lamar Jackson, who I think is going to win MVP, even though I think Christian McCaffrey deserves it. But out of all the quarterbacks, Lamar is going to get it over Brock Purdy because Lamar is a much better quarterback, dual threat, and everything. You have the running backs, right? You have the time Mark Andrews. If he doesn't come back, Isaiah Likely, right? Or zero, you have Zay Flowers or Odell, even though he's not the number one. So you have all these players that aside from Lamar, so you had to also worry about offense. The max they scored this season was 56 points. And that was against the Dolphins. It was a very fraudulent team. Even after having a 56-point game, they had 6 games in which they scored 30 plus points, and only in one of those games where they scored 30 plus points did they lose, and that was to the Browns in the AFC divisional round against the Texans. They scored 34 points. Yes, they allowed 30 something points too. And a lot of the games that they won, they allowed 20 something, 30 something points a couple of times. But their best, and I just want to argue, their best win against a really good, most well-rounded team, and that team we're probably going to see them face in the Super Bowl, is against the Niners. This is against a team that's most well-rounded, and like I've been talking about throughout, offense and defense-wise, they still beat them. They still beat a Browns team that was towards later on. It wasn't around Joe Flacco's time, but it was still towards later on. And now the Chiefs are going to be what I think is one of the most toughest teams, adding to it, not the most toughest, but just adding to the list of what they're going to play. So yeah, now you could talk about their offense. You could argue the offense is like, they didn't play hard teams. Sure, aside, Niners, they played the Niners, they played the Browns, they played the Steelers, played that. Look at the offense. Just looking at it here, their offense ended up being number 6, also, just
Mhm.
offensively, just behind. Dolphins came out. This is all according to Fox Sports. They have the Dolphins number one. This is all for the regular season. Dolphins number one, Niners 2, Lions 3, Bills 4, Cowboys 5, and then the Ravens at 6. Again, defense number 6, offense number 6. That's very well rounded too. I think this is way too much for the Chiefs to handle, for Mahomes to handle. I just think it's way too much. And then not only that, David, we're going to talk about superstition, right? You brought up,
Mhm.
or at least I brought up superstition about all of this.
The color
One,
of the logos.
yeah, I'll talk about the logo because the logo colors are the Niners and the Ravens, the red and purple. If the Chiefs are the red, then who's going to be the purple? Is it just a darker blue for the Lions? Like you're saying, I don't think it is. It's going to be Ravens and Niners, and the color that has less showing, it usually ends up being the team that wins. That's the past few times it's been ever since the Super Bowl here in LA. Team that's less color on the logo ends up winning, and red happens to be the less color, so it means the Niners are going to win. But aside from that, did you know, David, that every team since 2020, when Josh Allen was on the Bills in the playoffs, any team that beat Josh Allen sometime in the playoffs ended up, he hasn't been to the Super Bowl. Any team that beat him, they ended up losing the very next game. Ended up losing the very next game. So if you want to counter it with the referee being there and favoring away teams, I get that. There's the Bills curse, the Josh Allen curse. If you want to be more specific, if you're beating Josh Allen in the playoffs, you're losing that very next round. So how it ends up, and like we said,
I don't
this
believe
is not the
that.
this is
No.
not the best Chiefs team. This is not the best one. We've
But
seen
it took them
better
against
Chiefs teams.
but they're back in the AFC Championship again.
Okay, but you're
Yeah.
telling me this one is better than when they had Tyreek Hill?
Look, they're being grown on their rivals. Buffalo was favorite. Look what they did. Look, earlier in
Okay,
the regular
it,
season, the Chiefs lost to the Bills. What happened
it's
now?
okay to be. It's okay. One team's more favored than the other. That like that's just seeing the teams, and you can add that to betting rules. That's fine. That doesn't matter. we're talking about a little bit of superstitions here. You're telling me that the ref who favors away team is gonna beat the Josh Allen superstition?
This is more usual, the NFL wants Taylor Swift, wants marketing, they want to make more money. The Chiefs will make more money again in the playoffs, and in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Not this curse that you're seeing of Josh Allen. Nah, come on, that's like
Hey man, I'm just saying what's there. Plus the logo, it looked like the NFL already had the scripts written. Unless they're trying to change the script right now because, but then that means they should have planned for Taylor Swift being in the script. Unless they didn't, and they're changing it out. I'm just saying, if you believe in that, if you believe in that,
no, I don't. What I
I
want to
do.
say is that the Chiefs will grow on their rivals. Baltimore is obviously the strongest team right now. The Chiefs will compete well with them, and watch. It'll be a 3 point difference. That's what's gonna happen. Another 3 point
3 point.
difference.
Well, I have the Ravens winning that one, so I think Ravens. I think Ravens win by 7.
That's 7.
7.
I,
I don't think. I think they win by more than 3, but I don't think they win like crazy. So I think 4 and above. They somehow win by 4 and above. That's what I'm calling.
yeah, I see like 27-24, 24-21 around there.
So you're saying 3? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Gio with this curse. Come on, man.
Come on. It. The logos
So
are
it's
working.
so
The
it's,
logos are working.
if curses are real, then the Chargers are not gonna do anything with Jim Harbaugh. If curses
Why
are
are you saying
real,
it out loud? Why are you saying it out loud like that?
they're saying curses
You're
are
bringing
real.
it out. You're
Curses
bringing
are
it
not
up.
real, Gio.
So what's the Chargers curse?
Well, not the Chargers curse, Spanos curse mostly. I was hearing on the radio.
So then what's the Spanos curse?
But they're not gonna do anything with as long as they still have the same owner, we're not gonna do anything.
It's kind of like Jerry Jones. It's just
There.
he actually tries to get people, but that's a whole other thing. Well, that's our predictions for the next
Mhm.
round. David, one thing I did forget to talk about on the coach use. The Tennessee Titans, after letting go of Mike Variable, like we talked about, they got their head coach in Brian
Oh, really?
Callahan. Yeah, Titans got their head coach in Brian Callahan. He was
Oh,
the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, and now he's bringing the offense to the Titans, who had a lot of defensive ways of playing their games. Needed a lot more offense in them. So hopefully this changes it up. But let's hope that, or at least for Titan fans, not us. I think Titan fans just hope that their defense doesn't go down by a lot.
hopefully it does well. We'll see what happens. But personally, I didn't like that they fired Vrabel. I feel they should have kept him. Um, that's my opinion. I don't think they should have kept him. I mean, he's a coach that a lot of teams will want. Remember, I wouldn't mind him coaching the Chargers if they didn't get Harbaugh. And I'm pretty sure other teams are interested in him too. The Falcons and
I know Patriot fans wanted him
Patriots. Yeah.
coming from the Patriots, coming from the Bill, playing for
But
the Patriots under Bill Belichick, and knowing how he likes to play. I'm pretty sure they wanted him. Well, actually, no, I know a lot of Boston fans wanted him.
well, it's a good day to be a Charger fan. Finally, something different. Hopefully, as I mentioned, in 2 years, Super Bowl appearance at least. Hopefully,
At
actual Super
least,
Bowl ring
at
at
least.
least.
Let's see. Let's see if it holds up. Let's see if the Super Bowl, the NFL script writers have it and
Mhm.
make the logo baby blue.
Yeah,
Baby blue on it.
I messaged your buddy Brandon Zamora, the Eagles fan. I told him that he's welcome to hop on the Charger bandwagon next year. He says, "Sorry, David, but the Chargers are the NFL equivalent of the Clippers in the NBA. Good enough during the regular
Of
season, but
course.
then
Of
choke
course.
in the playoffs."
Of course he's going to throw that. But
Yeah.
his team's looking very Clipper like too.
Which one?
His Eagles.
The Eagles? And the Lakers are kind of looking like that too right now, but after winning
Well,
the in-season tournament, that didn't.
yeah. I gave him high praise after winning that in season tournament, and it went very downhill from there.
Speaking of curse,
And
I think the in-season tournament was a curse. That championship.
can't call it a curse yet. It's only been one time. Gotta wait a couple years for it to be that. But it did hit you guys hard.
Mhm.
The Clippers, on the other hand, picked it up, but for some reason still couldn't beat the Lakers. Still couldn't beat the Lakers the second time they faced each other until last night. The Clippers finally get the win over the Lakers. The difference between yesterday's game and the other two games between the Clippers and the Lakers, the Clippers this time got the job done, made the shots, and didn't let the Lakers come back. And that's what happened in the first two games, like I spoke about before. The Clippers had the lead in those games and here as well in this one. The difference of the first two was that the Clippers couldn't close it out, couldn't make shots. Playing sloppy defense, especially in that first game, was terrible. Sloppy defense, allowing a lot of offensive rebounds, not trying to get offensive rebounds. Um, allowing second chance buckets and everything that goes on. Not playing good. This time they got it done. They got it going. Kind of just comparing the numbers on it. They were comparing it. The Clippers made 7 more field goals in total. The Clippers made 3 more 3-pointers in total. But the Clippers only made 9 free throws out of their 12 taken, while the Lakers had 22 attempted and made 15. So Lakers won on the free throw side when it came to making buckets. Rebound wise, the Lakers had 5 more rebounds total. The Lakers won on the offensive boards with 13, while Clippers had 6. But Clippers defensive boards, they had 2 more. Clippers had 30, Lakers had 28. Clippers had more assists. Lakers had more blocks. Lakers had 1 more steal with a 9-8. Lakers had 1 more turnover with a 15-14. Clippers had 8 more points in the paint, and Clippers had 2 more fouls over them. Compared to all that, numbers are very close again, but the numbers don't always speak the game. The Clippers, like I said, they led all game, and this time, even though it's cutting it a bit close. Even though it's cutting it close, this time they got the job done. They got what they needed. They secured the win and just got the 11-point win. That's all I have to really say about their games, how they've been playing in the season. Anything you got to add, David?
I've just been disappointed in the Lakers really. I've been I thought last season they brought it brought hope how far they made it, and now after they won the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament, it's just very sad. And Darvin Ham's not very favored to stay as head coach. All depends on LeBron if he still wants him.
It depends if
It's just-
LeBron's going to end up staying.
yeah,
Because he said he wants to go play with Bronny. So if Bronny
yeah.
goes somewhere else, LeBron might go leave.
hmm But you heard me mention it before. I wouldn't mind LeBron leaving because I think this team needs to, change, clean up a little. And but for me, Anthony Davis, I didn't see his stats though. Oh, that's my bad right there. I should have seen the stats. Anthony Davis in this past game, if I'm not wrong, hit 36 minutes, 12 rebounds, 26 points. Not bad.
Not
But
bad
I
at
don't
all.
think without LeBron, he'll be. I don't know if he won't be able to carry this team.
And that was the point. He was the passing of the torch.
What was that?
He was the next one. AD was the passing of the torch.
Yeah. hmm
He's supposed to be able to carry the team. He's supposed to get another number two to help you guys out.
Yeah.
So
The Clippers are right now in fourth place in the Western Conference, and the
the Lakers
Lakers
are
are
nine.
ninth. They'll still
So
be in the
what?
play-in, but that's not enough. I don't think they're going to grow if they do make it to the playoffs. Mhm.
I mean, the one that's looking good right now is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Timberwolves, in my surprise, I mean, thought they're going to do very well this season. I didn't think they were going to be number one. I thought the Nuggets were going to be number one. They're only a game, the way they read about game and a half. Oh, sorry, half a game behind. They're half a game behind the Thunders, who are in second, because the Nuggets are in third. The Timberwolves, the Thunder are half a game behind the Timberwolves, so the Nuggets are a game behind the number one seed, in which I thought they're going to be. I still think the Nuggets are the best team and going to win it. Literally running it back just while Bruce Brown, who just got traded to the Toronto Raptors after signing a contract with Indiana over the offseason. That was part of the Pascal Siakam trade. He was the big name player part of it. So they got that. But the Timberwolves, surprisingly, they're doing very well. Again, being led by Anthony Edwards, Carl Anthony Town taking that second row, in my opinion, because I think Anthony Edwards is a much better player. But Carl Anthony Town, Cat, he just got a 62-point game the other day. I think they're playing very well and on the Western Conference.
Mhm.
But David, something else interesting. We're talking about coaches getting fired and hired and all this other stuff in the NFL. It happened in the NBA.
Oh, your favorite head coach of all time?
No, don't say that.
Yeah.
You know he's not. But yes, he got hired for the Milwaukee Bucks midway through the season. It's kind of crazy. He really bought his way, sold himself midway through the season to win a ring, to win his second ring possible. And it's another green
Oh, you
team.
never know.
You
You
know,
never know with Doc Rivers, sadly.
you never know. I think he really just brings them down. They're going to the second round. They're out. All Star Weekend is coming up very soon. It's in about 2 weeks. They're about to announce the starters in about a week, or give or take within a week. About to announce the starters for it. But yeah, Indianapolis is about to host the All Star Weekend. Did you see, David? Then in the Indianapolis airport, they put a basketball court. Now you can't use it. Someone tried it. They put a cap on the rim on the top, and they tell you please do not play on the court. But it looks very cool. And I think it'd be a very cool idea. People they added a hoop in the airport, and you get to take a couple shots. You don't want to be playing too much because you're gonna be sweating the plane and everything. But taking a couple shots, I think that'd be very fun.
There's been a lot of selfies on Instagram. Watch people at the airport.
Yeah, the airport, the All Star game, yeah.
Mhm.
But I think it's very cool. But other games, other teams in the NBA kind of just looking standing. The Heat made a trade. They're trading Kyle Lowry in a first round pick to Charlotte Hornets for Rozier. I forgot Terry Rozier. I was gonna say Tyler. I was like, I know his name's not Tyler. Terry Rozier. It said that the Charlotte Hornets aren't looking to buy out uh, Kyle Lowry's contract. Rather, they're looking to trade him somewhere else, send him in the package somewhere else. So we see how they're making the moves, where they're sending him at. Kind of sucks for it sucks for Kyle Lowry. I guess it's not working out. They're in the sixth seed. Wasn't working out for them. And so I guess they figured they need another point guard. But looking at Celtics are in one, Bucks are in two, 76 are three. They're always the three they're fighting for. Cavaliers, surprisingly, but with the young star power they have at four, keeping them afloat, especially with Evan Mobley being injured for, I believe it's been 2 months already. He's been injured. Pace is doing good. Halliburton's coming back on and off after his groin injury about a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago actually, a week or two ago. Orlando Magic keeping in the plan with the eight, and the Bulls trying to keep in the plan, but there's a lot of word that Zach Levine's going to get traded. Let's see where he goes. So yeah, the Knicks, staying in fifth, they're fighting. They're also a team. They're looking to trade um Julius Randle. I'm sorry, not Randle. I believe Robinson. Sorry, not just Randle. Looking to trade to Robinson, seeing who could get. They just made a trade trading R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel quickly to the Raptors for OG Ananobu. So Ananobi, sorry. So a lot of teams are moving around. A lot of teams are going. So the NBA is still going on. All Star. Once after All Star, we start seeing these trades going. We start seeing how these teams are going to play out in the playoffs. We start keeping an eye a lot more on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything you want to add for the NBA, David? I know I talked too much.
No, Gio. I mean, once the All Stars pass, that's when I'll really get into it. Right now, as I say, I'm depressed with the Lakers. I hardly watch most of any of the games. I watch very little, and it's just depresses me, to be honest. As a sports fan, it's depressing. I'm sure you felt that before too, but
Yeah, being a Clipper fan.
no.
That's every playoffs. I don't know. Every first and second round exit. That's really what it was.
Mhm.
But yeah. Well, David, well that's closing off. We ended like usually, and we done before with your quizzes.
You ready, Gio?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Gio, I got 5 questions for you.
Let's see if I know it or not.
You're gonna hate the first one though.
All right.
All right. All right. Number one in the quiz. As we saw earlier this week, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is now part of the board of directors of TKO, the owner company of UFC and the WWE. And he also finally owns the trademark The Rock. In case you didn't know, Gio. I don't know if you never knew that.
I didn't know he owned the trademark of it,
Well,
but
now he
good
owns
for
it.
him.
Before
Now
he
he owns
didn't.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I was like, I don't think he owned it. He owned it before, but now he
Mhm.
does.
Yep. All right. So here's a question: what was Dwayne the Rock Johnson's first wrestling name? Is it A. Rocky Maivia, B. Rocky Johnson, or C. Rocky Balboa?
But I know Rocky Balboa is Sylvester Stallone, right? And Rocky. So I don't count that out, but I wouldn't be surprised if he used it just for the stage name. But I'm gonna go A.
Rocky Maivia?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you got it right.
Oh,
Wow.
see, it's a process of elimination. Rocky
Oh.
Johnson, it's not a stage name to have his last name. Rocky Balboa, as much as cool as he probably thought it would be to have that, he wasn't gonna copy the name. That leaves A.
Oh, I'm gonna tell
So
you
I'm
a little
thinking
quick
that.
story. Rocky Johnson is his dad. That's why he got the Rocky part
Right.
name. And Maivia, he got that from his grandfather. That his grandfather was also a wrestler, High Chief Peter Maivia. That's his mom's dad.
Oh,
That's why he got Rocky Maivia. That's his first wrestling
oh,
name.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm trying to remember the year I think it was '98 when he changed the name to The Rock when he turned into a bad guy because sadly the character Rocky Maivia wasn't doing well. He was getting booed.
Oof.
All right. Anyways, number two. Starting off with your favorite head coach of all time, Doc Rivers. Will the Bucks be his A fourth team, B fifth, or C sixth? Fourth, fifth, or
Coaching
sixth?
or playing? I'm assuming coaching.
As
I'm gonna
coaching,
go
yeah,
coaching.
yeah, sorry, yeah, it's coaching.
Coaching.
Yeah, in
Okay.
his
So
coaching
what's the
career.
option? What's the
Fourth,
option?
fifth, or sixth? Four, five, or six team.
Okay. Okay. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna go five. B.
Two in a row, Gio. Congrats, man.
There
Fifth.
you go.
This
I
is
just had to
fifth
count them
team.
out. I just
Yeah.
yeah, because I know it's Orlando, two Boston, two LA, two
Philly.
Philadelphia, and now to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Yeah, good memory, Gio. All right, number three, going back to the NFL. Which NFL team has the most AFC championships? Ties to this weekend. Is it A, the Steelers, B, the Patriots, or C, the Chiefs?
AFC
Ste-
championships.
who has the most AFC championships? Steelers, Patriots, or Chiefs?
Okay, so I'm gonna take out the Chiefs. The Steelers and the Patriots both have six championships, but who's gone to more Super Bowls is the question. I'm gonna go Steelers.
All right, you lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in.
All right, Gio, this is your first wrong answer. It's the Patriots.
The Patriots.
Yep, 11,
Which one did I? I went to 11. So how many did the Steelers go to?
8.
6 for 8. That's not bad.
Yeah, but they had the most appearances though, 16. But they only won 8.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I was close.
Yeah.
I was on the right track, but okay.
Mhm. I thought you were gonna get this one right instead of the other two, but you got them.
No.
All right, number four, the opposite. Who has the most NFC championships? A, 49ers, B, Packers, or C, Cowboys?
Hmm. I know Packers have. I think Packers have gone to. Packers have five, I believe. They have four Super Bowls. I think they've won five NFC championships. Cowboys have five Super Bowls, so obviously they have more. Honestly, no. Could Cowboys have? Niners have five championships. Cowboys also have five. I think the Niners went to more. I'm gonna go Niners.
Lock it in.
Yes.
It's the Cowboys by 8. Cowboys have 8 and the 49ers have 7.
7. Ah,
Not close. All right, last question. Like almost every quiz I do, I always tie it to the Chargers.
yep.
How many
Always.
touch how many touchdowns passes how many touchdowns has Justin Herbert thrown this year?
Okay.
A 21, B 20, or C 19?
Well, this is just to take a wild guess.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go 21.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Gio, it was B20.
Ah, 19 seemed too short.
Uh,
21 seemed a little high, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it's Herbert. Maybe he got that.
it was the injury. Maybe then an injury would have been over that, but
Yeah, he would have gone over. He would have hit 30s.
probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
High 20s, maybe 30s.
Mhm. Yeah, but
Well, I went
congratulations.
two for
You got,
five.
yeah. But I thought the ones you were gonna get wrong, you got right actually. So congratulations.
See, I'm surprised you flipped it over.
Hmm. And
All right. Well, anything else to add, David?
just go Chargers. Let's bolt up.
Chargers. Oh, I did have one thing. We didn't have a segment for this
What?
season for a segment for hockey. I know we talked a lot about want to talk about hockey. We do. We're gonna get into that. But today, watching the Pat McAfee show, and I heard about it. I think like a couple of days ago, but I wasn't sure. I kind of just saw it. Wasn't sure if it was a credible tweet. But the owner of the Utah Jazz, I believe his name is Andy Smith. Um, he wants to bring an NHL hockey team to Salt Lake City. Well, I don't mean bring. He wants to take, but he wants a hockey team to be in Salt Lake City. He pretty much was selling. Well, wasn't even having to sell it on the show, but on the he was talking about how much the fans, how how much the fans love sports in Utah, how much the youth is growing as the population is slightly growing in Utah and in Salt Lake. They love the basketball. He's saying almost every youth kid is like in the the junior jazz youth basketball program, and he said that they should get another sport, and he's hoping that the NHL will be open to either giving an expansion team or even just moving a team out to Utah. We know the team that is in the move that's looking to be moved in the NHL is the Arizona Coyotes. There's a lot of talks that Arizona's not the right place for ice team to be there. They don't really have their own stadium and all this other stuff going on. Personally, I don't think they should move the Coyotes. I don't think they should move the Coyotes to Utah. You can move them somewhere else, but I think Utah should earn itself its own expansion team. I'm all for expansion team in any sport, whether it's soccer, basketball, football, baseball, hockey. Get a hockey team in Utah. Let it have its own name. Let it have its own thing. So he was trying to get that going. I think that's really cool, and just trying to expand more. We already see Seattle and Vegas. They've got Stanley Cups. Well, sorry, not Seattle, but Vegas has the Stanley Cup. It's been to two
Yeah.
Stanley Cup finals.
They
Seattle's in there. They have a
they
great
were the
name, the
first
Krakens.
they were the first league to get to Vegas. Imagine being they beat the NFL and NBA to it, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Well, no, the Las Vegas Aces weren't there yet, huh? I completely forgot. I wasn't. The Las Vegas Aces were there,
Oh,
and
sure.
then yes, they got there before the Raiders. So,
Mhm.
but that's the thing. So, to one point, that I think it's really cool expansion and what they're doing. And what he's trying to get out there. Next thing you know, Utah's gonna need a baseball team. They don't have a baseball team. Most of them are probably fans of the Rockies. But that's Colorado. They have their own sports stuff.
Mhm.
So they have their own hockey, their own soccer, their own baseball, their own basketball. They have their own football. They have it all. So Lake Utah gets them
Yeah, but just the NHL has seemed they're more easily to add an expansion team.
to add
That's
expansion.
what
Yeah,
that's what we saw with the Vegas with the Golden Knights. Yeah. Hopefully it happens.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, thank you guys. This
Oh,
is
and
another
wait,
episode.
Chicharito's back to Chivas.
Dude, that let him that don't matter. That don't he left Galaxy, not my problem. Going back to this trash old team. Anyways, as we are saying, this is Silent Thoughts. I'm Joe Galvez. This is David Reyes. John Greenstein unable to be with us this episode, but he'll be back with us once again.
That's
Thank
bolt
you
up.
guys. Thank you guys.